Alright guys, just got our K-Series block back from the machine shop. About to take the cradle off, or the girdle, whatever you want to call it. We already went through, fair enough. So we went through with our telescoping gauges and just checked our line hone. We got ARP main studs in here, so we got it line honed. And we just checked in 3 different spots, inside, outside, just to make sure that everything's all nice and even around there. We got a fluctuation around 3 thou, so that's really not too bad at all. Now we're gonna go ahead and put our main bearings in, dry run, no crank. We're gonna go ahead and take our measurement, and then we'll put our crank in with some plastic gauge, take a measurement again, just to verify measurement. And yeah, so that's what we're about to get ready to do. Go ahead and set you up. We're going to take a bunch of pictures, and you'll get to see the process a little bit using our broke ass caliper, some bearings. And with ACLs, a lot of people use King also. The reason I like ACL is because of the stamp. It's a lot cleaner. With the King bearings, this stamp that goes through the bearing, it's actually it's just not very clean stamp. So you actually have to go through and clean it up a little bit with a file. That's what we did with our GSR, which is, after I saw that, I was like, you know what, we need to just go with the ACLs, which is what we did. So these are a tri-layer. So yeah. And they also have, this is the new style. I don't know if you guys know much about bearings, but this is the new style. So instead of it just being rolled over and you lose all that oil pressure on the edge here, they keep it so that you still maintain that film around the crank. All right, here we go. Nice, Bart.
Thanks, bro.
Nice. All right, so we have our main bearings installed. We have our girdle or cradle, whatever you want to call it, torqued down to spec. Now we're going to go ahead and use our telescoping gauges. We're going to measure our inside diameter with our bearings installed, and then we can go ahead and use our caliper, micrometer, measure the outside diameter of the crankshaft mains, and then we can do our math and figure out our oil clearance that way. And then just to verify also, we're going to go ahead and do plastic gauge also after. So that's what you're about to see. All right, guys, so we took all of our measurements here. I did 3 measurements. I did one here, across there, and then across here on the front side, and then the back side of the oil groove, and then I did one straight up and down. And I did 3 on each. We took the average. So here's our averages. This is all in millimeters. So the max fluctuation that we actually have is about 2 thou. 0.07, right, in millimeters is actually 0.003 thou. So that's only 3 thou. And our max fluctuation is actually only 4, and it's between these two. So that's only maybe 2 thou. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good machining there by P&R. So yeah, now we're gonna go ahead and I believe we got our crankshaft out.
Dude, we still got.
We're gonna measure our main journals on our crankshaft. Then we'll go ahead and do that in three locations also, just to take our measurement, you know, average it all out. Then we'll find out our oil clearance that way. And then we're gonna go ahead and put this in, put some plastic gauge on,
That's the fucking
torque it down, and just verify.
Civic, the Impala and that.
Just to verify. So that's where we are now.
Fucking just
We're gonna go ahead and take us off. Well, first we'll measure our crank, then we'll take us off, drop the crank down in, put some plastic gauge on, go ahead and re-torque our cradle, and then we'll pull our cradle back out, check all of our clearances, and then that'll be good for the mains. And then we can start with our rods. And the rods, we're gonna go ahead and put them into a vise. Do basically the exact same procedure as what we're doing here. And then we're also gonna balance everything. We're gonna make everything all the same weight. We're gonna do it down to like maybe a 1/10 of a gram or something like that. And depending on the weight of the rod will depend on the size of which journal we put it on. So there you have it. That's what we got for now. We're gonna keep going. More pictures to come. Hope you're having a good time. It's just weird.
Excuse me.
Making videos is just weird. Oh, hi! Hi, YouTube! Alright, so we wanted to make sure that we had our tooling set up correctly and that we weren't misleading ourselves. So I went ahead and we got a dial indicator, and then we have this digital indicator, and then we also have a micrometer. And we compared all of our measurements together just to verify that all the measurements that we were taking were indeed correct. In which they were, so this was all good. We're happy to find out that our tooling can't necessarily say calibrated anymore, but it's calibrated to each of our uncalibrated tools. So we're all good. We got our clearances down. They're extremely tight. We're very happy with them. Pretty even across the board. So we're gonna go ahead and take our cradle, girdle, whatever you want to call it, off, and then. Technical difficulties. And then we're gonna go ahead and throw our crank in there. And yeah, we also took all the journals. We have all the journal measurements. So that can go ahead and sit in there now. So yeah.
In the third drawer down, there's T-handles.
Oh, we're moving on to the T-handles, folks. T-handles.
Give me like a 5.
Hot dog. Hot dog. Alright, I'm going to set you back down. I know you probably want to listen to my lovely voice and see my lovely face standing into the camera there. I would too. I mean, I don't blame you. Alright. Toodle.